The knife hovered just above the frosting when my daughter whispered, "Mom, don't eat it." Everyone froze. The birthday candles were still flickering, the smell of chocolate thick in the air, but Zoe's wide, terrified eyes told me something was wrong. That's how I learned my own sister had poisoned my birthday cake. And trust me, that was just the beginning. If you've ever wanted to see someone finally stand up to toxic family members and serve justice in the sweetest way possible, you're going to love this story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into one of the most shocking revenge tales you'll hear today. I'm Julia, 42 years old, mom to an incredible 12-year-old daughter named Zoe. And if I'm being honest, I've spent most of my adult life trapped in a role I never asked for, the family fixer. My mother and my younger sister, Paige, built their lives around me being the reliable one, the one who paid the bills when they forgot, the one who hosted holidays when they couldn't be bothered, the one who swallowed every insult just to keep the peace. It started small. Hand-me-downs for Paige, even when I wanted something new. Then, Julia can wait, Paige deserves it first. By the time we were adults, it was money, time, and emotional labor. I should have broken free years ago, but guilt runs deep when it's family. This year, my birthday was supposed to be different. Zoe insisted on making it special. Dinner at home, a chocolate cake she'd picked out with my husband, and, best of all, a surprise trip. My husband had booked us a family cruise, something we never splurged on before. But Paige, of course, had other plans. She called days before, crying about how she couldn't afford childcare that week, how she just needed a little help. And somehow it ended with me agreeing to pay part of her rent again. Still, I tried to ignore the frustration. I told myself, Julia, just make it through the birthday. One nice evening. That night, the dining room glowed with candlelight. Zoe was practically bouncing in her seat as we sang happy birthday. Paige was there too, looking smug in a way I couldn't quite place. I picked up the knife to cut the first slice, and that's when Zoe tugged my sleeve and whispered, barely audible, "Mom, don't eat it." My chest tightened. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" She leaned closer, eyes darting nervously toward Paige. "I saw Aunt Paige in the kitchen earlier. She poured something into the cake box when you weren't looking." Every hair on my neck stood on end. I set the knife down slowly, forcing my voice to stay calm. "Paige, what did you put in the cake?" Her laugh was sharp, fake. "Oh my God, Julia, don't be paranoid. It's just cake." But Zoe's voice broke through again. "It smelled weird, Mom, like medicine." I felt my stomach flip. My husband moved the cake away while I called the police. The room went silent, except for Paige's indignant protests. "This is ridiculous. It's just a prank. You always take everything so seriously." At the police station, everything came spilling out. Paige had laced the cake with laxatives. Her brilliant plan? If my family was too sick, we'd miss our cruise and she wouldn't have to spend the week alone or scrambling for money. She called it a harmless joke. The officers didn't laugh. Neither did I. For the first time, I wasn't embarrassed for overreacting. I was furious. For me, for Zoe, for every single time I'd let Paige's selfishness bulldoze my life. See, revenge doesn't always come as fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet, precise, permanent. The next morning, I made a decision. No more. I cut off Paige financially. I called our bank and stopped every loan I'd been funneling her way. I told my mother, in no uncertain terms, that if she wanted to enable Cage, she could do it on her own dime, not mine. Paige screamed. She begged. She accused me of ruining the family. But here's the thing. I didn't ruin it. They did. I just finally stepped out of the role they trapped me in. When Paige realized the money was gone, her face crumpled into something between rage and disbelief. "You can't do this to me, Julia. You owe me." For the first time, I didn't flinch. I just looked her dead in the eye and said, "No, Paige, I don't owe you anything. Not anymore." And the silence that followed, that was the sound of 30 years of manipulation breaking. The police report ensured she'd be watched closely. And the best part? We still went on that cruise. Without her. Without the guilt. Without the weight of being everyone's safety net. Funny thing is, the sweetest revenge wasn't seeing Paige humiliated. It was waking up every morning without that knot of dread in my stomach. For the first time in years, my life belongs to me and to the people who actually deserve it. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, have you ever had to cut off a toxic family member? What happened when you finally did? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this because trust me, you won't want to miss the next one.